We all have many different drives inside of us. Carl Jung called two of these drives Anima and Animus. Anima and Animus are the feminine and masculine parts of the soul. They are energies and forces, and so they don't have anything to do with being female or male. Instead, both energies are part of our inner world. The healthy animus is a powerful, assertive, explorative, and strong energy that moves forward in integrity and actualizes its dreams and values into the world. The healthy anima is seen as a receptive, treasured, protective, and sacred energy. This energy is nurturing, vulnerable, tender, and compassionate. It is our inner garden and oasis. This theory can be found across cultures and centuries. For example, the yin-yang symbol is an ancient Chinese concept that shows interconnected opposite forces. Here, yin and yang are not seen as separate energies, but as part of a whole, and together they create balance. Or the Hindus say that without Shakti, which is the female life force, Shiva, who is the masculine life force, becomes a corpse. She's the life energy that animates the male force, and the male force then animates action into the world. Einstein called the feminine energy a sacred gift that, together with the masculine energy, helps us realize our full potential. Anima and Animus are equal forces, and when they unite, we in our world become soul-driven. But when one of them is wounded or they are broken apart, things look a little bit different. If you experience a trauma or wounding early in life, often either your animus or anima become wounded. If you have a wounded or a repressed animus, you can feel as if your power, your drive, your sense of choice, freedom, and strength was taken away. This is often related to an abandonment or abuse wound. The animus wound can make you feel helpless and vulnerable, and so many who have an animus wound flee into the soothing, nurturing, caring, and magical world of the anima, the world of intuition and creativity. Social researchers have found that especially the Western world is ruled by a toxic animus force that can be insensitive, uncaring, domineering, and sometimes even destructive and cruel. This more toxic animus often focuses on competition, power, and greed. Too much animus energy without a balance of the anima can lead to an extreme growth of power, to a point of reckless abandon and ruthlessness. A Darwinian world where it feels as if it is the survival of the fittest. Or if you are a George Orwell or Aldous Huxley fan, too much animus energy can lead to a Brave New World, or one of Orwell's totalitarian nightmares, where values such as empathy, loyalty, warmth, and kindness are often lost in the competition. A dominance of the animus energy can accomplish a lot, but it also can often feel empty, and sometimes without the balancing force of the feminine, it can lead to our destruction. Many experience our present as an age of apathy and disconnection, which some anthropologists have said is connected to the lost anima, the lost feminine soul. The toxic anima is more self-centered, selfish, critical, and controlling. The wounded, repressed, or lost anima makes you feel numb, cold, and starved for warmth and expression. With this wound, we feel disconnected from the universe, from the earth, from our soul and intuition. Anthropologists have found that we are presently feeling the repercussions of thousands of years of degradation, devaluation, and incarceration of the feminine part of the soul. The historically repressed anima comes in many different forms. For example, one of the first tales of the anima is that of Lilith, who was, according to Jewish tradition, the first wife of Adam. In the tale, it is told that she wanted to be respected and treated as his equal, and as Adam refused to do so, she had to flee paradise and was haunted for the rest of time. The feminine can also be found in ancient cultures and sacred wisdom. For example, First Nations people all around the world, often very aligned with the feminine energy, living in harmony with nature. However, in times of worldwide conquests and settlements, these ancient cultures and civilizations were persecuted, robbed, disowned, and incarcerated by the conquistadores, who systematically destroyed much of the wisdom, cultural heritage, and knowledge of those whose land they claimed. The witch hunts between the 14th and 18th century were a series of persecutions of witches, persecuting not only women but also men and children in Europe and the European colonies. This was often a persecution of people who were deeply knowledgeable and skilled, but different. Witch hunts are still a problem today in some parts of the world and are continuously reported as a massive violation of human rights. For a time, knowledge and wisdom was buried and erased from the collective unconscious, and often labeled as weird or dangerous. People are still persecuted for their neurodiversity, gender diversity, and cultural or religious diversity all over the world. This collective trauma keeps being relived generation after generation, where in our present world, whatever forms the other side of the coin, what cannot be classified, or does not conform, or what is not readily understood, is often stigmatized or demonized. There is a precious delicacy and innocence to the feminine energy that unfortunately is often not seen and undervalued. Many anthropologists said that this can be traced back to the original wounding of the feminine energy, which led to a type of collective generational rewounding over centuries of everything that was considered different, mystical, or unseen. But these different researchers also said that this is the time for the lost feminine to return, not to overthrow the masculine energy, but to take its rightful place by its side as its equal. If you have an anima wound, you often experienced rejection or criticism of your anima, or were somehow taught not to express it. Maybe this side was seen as weak, too sensitive, incompetent, not good enough, or somehow shameful, and so you learn to hide it and repress this part of you. The anima wound is often connected to the shame wound, to the emotional deprivation wound, or social exclusion wound. For example, many men have an anima wound and still feel that connecting to their feminine side is unacceptable and makes them weak or undesirable, or is just not an option in the culture or background they live in. This has many reasons, but one reason where this is coming from is what social researchers have called unconscious selection theory, which describes that subconsciously we still hold these old roles and ideas in society that men need to be the strong, invincible provider that cannot ever show any vulnerability or weakness, which of course originates in prehistoric times to survive and uphold the species. But statistically, this has led to massive wounding and mental health problems, where many, no matter their gender, identity, or culture, suppress parts of themselves and feel that living their true selves, being vulnerable, or showing their feminine energy is either unacceptable or downright dangerous. When one half of your soul is missing, you often feel empty or lonely. Bukowski has beautifully expressed in one of his poems how living with the anima wound may feel like. He writes, "There is a place in the heart that will never be filled, a space, and even during the best moments and the greatest times, we will know it. We will know it more than ever. There is a place in the heart that will never be filled, and we will wait and wait in that place." I think many live with an anima wound waiting in that space. And while Bukowski called this poem No Help for That, many anthropologists said that there is hope. This collective wound can be healed. If you want to help heal the collective anima wound, you can first bring her back within yourself Give her a life in your soul and honor and protect her. The anima is not logical. She's not order or sense. She's a type of chaos energy that cannot be explained or rationalized. She meets you in the unseen world, in form of depth and mystical experiences, in unexpected sparks of insight, in passion and sensuality, or in the warmth of your heart. She often surprises you when you follow your intuition and challenges you with a key to an unknown world. When you take that key and open the unseen door to her realm, you encounter ideas, things, and experiences your logical brain cannot find or recognize. Solutions to problems your animus was not able to solve. She shows you magic, which fills your world with joy and wonder. If you feel that your anima is wounded, you can connect to this energy by, for example, indulging in some self care or by practicing compassion and care towards others. You can express your anima creatively, for example, through music, art, sculpture, poetry, or dance, or spend some time following your intuition or inner guidance. If you feel that your inner animus is disempowered, you can strengthen it by practicing boundaries, assertiveness, taking the lead and responsibility in something, or start developing and actioning a plan for a goal or dream. And so, if you have an anima or animus wound, connecting to it over time fills the hole, or what Bukowski described as the empty space inside, and leads to more wholeness and fulfillment. Both the anima and animus wound remind me of the ancient Egyptian myth of Isis and Osiris. In the story, Osiris, who represents the masculine force and power, gets betrayed and destroyed into a million pieces, spread across the world. It is Isis, his equal and counterpart, the feminine energy that patiently picks up piece after piece from his wounded corpse and puts him back together again. She heals Osiris, and it is believed that a return of the feminine can heal and balance the broken and wounded masculine energy in our world. Anima and Animus are eternal soulmates. They are equals. And uniting and respecting both energies creates sustainable and meaningful progress and creation without destruction. I hope this was helpful in the Anima and Animus energies, and thank you for watching.